We live in a culture that often glorifies a relentless yes. The initial appeal is undeniable. Saying yes feels generous, collaborative, and even exciting. It opens doors to new experiences, relationships, and opportunities. But this seemingly positive response can subtly, insidiously become a trap. The constant pressure to agree, to accommodate, to please. It's a pervasive force woven into the fabric of our social interactions. We're told to be team players, to be agreeable, to avoid conflict. And for a time, the rewards seem to outweigh the costs. However, this pattern of consistent affirmation, without consideration for our own needs and limits, gradually erodes our well-being. The accumulation of yes, unchecked and unmanaged, leads to a feeling of being overwhelmed. Our calendars bulge, our to-do lists stretch endlessly into the future, and our energy reserves dwindle. Resentment begins to simmer, a quiet, bitter undercurrent to our outwardly compliant behavior. Anxiety, that familiar knot in the stomach, becomes a constant companion. This relentless yes ultimately fragments our sense of self. We lose touch with our authentic desires and needs, sacrificing our own well-being at the altar of others' expectations. We become disjointed, a collection of fragmented parts, each striving to meet demands that leave us feeling depleted and unfulfilled. The journey toward reclaiming our wholeness begins with a single, powerful word: no. And understanding the insidious nature of the yes trap is the crucial first step on that path. This understanding allows us to consciously choose actions that nurture our well-being rather than deplete it. Let's delve deeper into the often hidden cost of consistently saying yes when your inner voice is whispering no. The emotional toll can be substantial, far exceeding the momentary discomfort of refusing a request. Imagine this. You agree to take on an extra project at work, already juggling a demanding workload. You smile and agree, outwardly compliant, but inside, a seed of resentment begins to sprout. This isn't just about inconvenience. It's about the erosion of your own sense of self-worth. This resentment, left unchecked, festers. It manifests as irritability, exhaustion, and a growing sense of being undervalued. Your anxiety levels climb. The constant pressure to perform, to meet expectations, both your own and those of others, becomes overwhelming. Sleep becomes elusive, and your relationships may suffer as you struggle to maintain your composure under the strain. Consider another scenario. You agree to attend a social event you'd rather avoid. You feel obligated, perhaps out of a sense of loyalty or to avoid hurting someone's feelings. You attend, but your heart isn't in it. You feel disconnected, a silent observer rather than an active participant. This repeated neglect of your own needs and desires leads to a sense of fragmentation. You're no longer a unified whole, but a collection of fragmented parts, each striving to meet the demands of others, leaving you exhausted and feeling less and less like yourself. The cost of compliance is not merely inconvenience. It's a slow, insidious chipping away at your emotional well-being, your sense of self, and your overall health. Learning to say no is not about being selfish. It's about self-preservation, about recognizing your limits and honoring your own needs. It's about reclaiming your autonomy and fostering a more integrated and authentic sense of self. By understanding this cost, we can begin to make conscious choices that protect our well-being and nurture our true selves. Now, let's explore a powerful concept from Jungian psychology, the shadow self. This isn't about darkness or evil. Rather, it represents the aspect of ourselves we repress, the parts we deem unacceptable or undesirable. These are often the emotions, desires, and instincts we deem inappropriate to express openly. And a significant component of this shadow self can be built from the consistent suppression of our need to say no. When we habitually override our boundaries and say yes when we mean no, we're effectively pushing down a crucial part of ourselves. This isn't a conscious act of self-sabotage. It's often a subconscious response, stemming from ingrained societal pressures or fear of conflict. However, this repression doesn't make these feelings disappear. Instead, they accumulate in the shadow, growing larger and more potent. This creates an internal conflict, a disharmony between the persona we present to the world and the true self we keep hidden. We might appear outwardly calm and agreeable, yet internally, we're simmering with resentment, frustration, and a sense of being utterly out of sync with ourselves. This dissonance manifests in various ways. Physical symptoms like fatigue and headaches, emotional outbursts, and a persistent feeling of unease. The shadow self isn't an enemy to be conquered. It's a part of ourselves that needs to be understood and integrated. Saying no, when appropriate, is a crucial step in this process of integration, allowing us to reclaim lost parts of ourselves and move towards a more harmonious inner world. By acknowledging and honoring our need to say no, we begin the process of illuminating the shadow, bringing those repressed aspects of ourselves into the light. This process is not about aggression or self-centeredness. Rather, it is a journey toward wholeness, authenticity, and a more integrated sense of self. The act of saying no, seemingly simple, becomes profoundly significant when viewed through the lens of Jungian psychology. It's not merely a rejection or request. It's an assertion of self, a reclaiming of agency from the unconscious forces that have driven us to habitually say yes. By acknowledging and expressing our needs, by saying no, we begin to integrate the shadow self. The shadow, as we've discussed, contains the aspect of ourselves we repressed, often out of fear of judgment or a desire to please. This repression creates a disconnect, a chasm between our conscious persona and our authentic self. Saying no acts as a bridge, allowing us to cross that chasm and reclaim those lost parts of ourselves. It's not about aggression or defiance. It's about self-acceptance and the courageous act of owning our needs and limitations. Each time we say no to something that doesn't align with our values or well-being, we're subtly shifting the balance of power within ourselves. We're taking back control from the unconscious patterns that have dictated our behavior, freeing ourselves from the compulsion to please at our own expense. This isn't a one-time event. It's a process of gradual self-discovery. It's about learning to listen to our inner voice, to trust our intuition, and to honor our own boundaries. The more we practice saying no, the more comfortable we become with asserting our needs and setting healthy limits. This, in turn, fosters self-respect and a deeper sense of self-worth. We begin to recognize that our well-being is not a luxury but a necessity, and that saying no is not an act of selfishness but an act of self-preservation. The integration of the shadow is not a passive process. It requires conscious effort, a willingness to confront our inner conflicts, and the courage to choose ourselves. And saying no is a powerful tool in this transformative journey toward wholeness. It is a step towards reclaiming our agency, our voice, and our authentic selves. The prospect of saying no can be daunting. It's understandable. We're often conditioned to believe that saying no will lead to negative consequences. Deep-seated fears may arise. The fear of abandonment, of losing the approval of others, of causing conflict, or even of losing social standing. These fears are valid. They are rooted in our experiences and our ingrained need for connection and belonging. Let's acknowledge these anxieties. The fear of abandonment is primal. It stems from our earliest relationships and our inherent need for security and acceptance. Saying no can feel like risking that security, like potentially pushing people away. Similarly, the fear of conflict is deeply ingrained. Many of us avoid confrontation at all costs, preferring to maintain a superficial harmony even at the expense of our own well-being. The fear of losing social standing or approval is also common. We worry about being perceived as selfish, difficult, or uncooperative. This fear is often amplified in highly social environments where maintaining a positive image is paramount. However, it's crucial to recognize that these fears are often exaggerated. While saying no might sometimes lead to temporary discomfort or disappointment, it rarely results in the catastrophic outcomes we anticipate. In fact, setting healthy boundaries often strengthens relationships, leading to more authentic and fulfilling connections. True friends and colleagues will respect your limits, and those who don't may not be the people you want in your life. Choosing to prioritize your well-being, even if it means saying no, is not selfish. It's an act of self-respect and a fundamental step towards cultivating genuine and reciprocal relationships. The potential for long-term growth and well-being far outweighs the often imagined short-term consequences of setting healthy boundaries. Let's shift our perspective on boundaries. Often, we envision boundaries as rigid walls, impenetrable barriers that shut people out. This image is misleading and contributes to the anxiety surrounding the concept of setting limits. Instead, think of boundaries as selective filters. They allow for genuine connection while simultaneously protecting your energy and well-being. They're not about rejecting others. They're about respecting yourself. A filter doesn't block everything. It allows certain things to pass through while others are screened out. Similarly, healthy boundaries allow for positive interactions and supportive relationships while preventing the intrusion of negativity or demands that deplete your resources. It's about discerning what nourishes you and what drains you, and consciously choosing to prioritize the former. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care, not self-centeredness. It's about creating space for authentic connection, where both parties feel respected and valued. When you set clear boundaries, you're not rejecting others. You're teaching them how to interact with you respectfully. You're clarifying your needs and expectations, creating an environment where genuine intimacy can flourish. Without boundaries, relationships can become imbalanced, leading to resentment, exhaustion, and ultimately, the erosion of the relationship itself. The strength of a relationship isn't measured by its lack of conflict, but by its capacity to navigate disagreements and maintain mutual respect. Embracing the concept of boundaries as selective filters allows us to move beyond the fear of rejection and embrace the freedom of self-expression and self-preservation. It is a journey of self-discovery that leads to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Saying no is not just about protecting your time and energy. It's a profound act of self-acceptance. It's a recognition of your own needs and a validation of their importance. When you consistently prioritize the needs of others above your own, you subtly communicate to yourself that your needs are less valid, less important. This internal message erodes self-esteem and fuels self-doubt. Saying no, on the other hand, is a powerful affirmation of self-worth. It's a declaration that your well-being matters, that your time and energy are valuable resources that deserve protection. This act of self-respect cultivates self-compassion, a gentle understanding and acceptance of your limitations and vulnerabilities. It allows you to acknowledge that it's okay to say no, that it's not selfish, but rather a necessary act of self-preservation. As you consistently practice saying no in situations where it feels appropriate, you'll notice a shift in your self-perception. Your self-esteem will gradually increase as you recognize your ability to set boundaries and prioritize your needs. This newfound confidence will ripple into other areas of your life, empowering you to make choices that align with your values and aspirations. The ability to say no is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your inner strength and self-awareness. It's a crucial step in cultivating a healthy relationship with yourself, fostering self-acceptance, and building a life that truly reflects your values and priorities. This journey of self-acceptance, fueled by the power of no, leads to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Saying no isn't merely a practical strategy. It's a spiritual practice. It's a pathway to greater self-awareness, a journey towards living a life of authenticity and integrity. Imagine your life as a river flowing toward the ocean of your potential. When we constantly say yes to things that don't align with our true selves, we create eddies and whirlpools, diverting the natural flow of our energy and purpose. Saying no is like clearing the riverbed, allowing the water to flow freely and effortlessly towards its destined destination. It's about aligning your actions with your values, living in harmony with your inner compass. This alignment brings a profound sense of peace and purpose, a feeling of being truly connected to your authentic self. It's a journey of self-discovery, a gradual unfolding of your unique potential. The spiritual dimension of saying no isn't about rejecting the world. It's about discerning what truly resonates with your soul. It's about cultivating a deep sense of self-respect, recognizing your inherent worthiness and your right to choose what serves your highest good. This process of discerning and choosing creates a sense of inner harmony, a resonance between your inner world and your outer actions. It's a journey of integration, where the fragmented parts of your being come together to form a unified and powerful whole. The result is a life lived with intention, a life aligned with your truest self, a life flowing with the grace and power of a river reaching the sea. This is the spiritual reward of embracing the power of no. Embarking on the journey of saying no effectively requires a foundation of mindful self-awareness. This isn't about impulsively rejecting everything. It's about cultivating a deep understanding of your own limits and recognizing the subtle signals your body and mind send when you're becoming overextended. Begin by engaging in regular self-reflection. Take time each day, perhaps during your morning routine or before bed, to assess your energy levels, your emotional state, and your overall sense of well-being. Ask yourself, what activities truly energize me? What drains my energy and leaves me feeling depleted? What commitments am I making that don't align with my priorities or values? Be honest with yourself. Don't shy away from acknowledging areas where you might be overcommitting. Pay attention to the physical and emotional cues that indicate you're approaching your limits. These might manifest as fatigue, irritability, headaches, digestive issues, or a general sense of overwhelm. Don't ignore these signals. They are crucial messages from your body and mind, guiding you toward a healthier balance. Learning to recognize these subtle cues is a skill that develops over time with consistent self-observation. It requires patience and compassion for yourself, acknowledging that it's okay to not be perfect at setting boundaries from the outset. The key is to start paying attention, and to gradually refine your ability to discern your personal limits. This process of self-awareness is the bedrock upon which effective boundary setting is built. It's the first step toward a life lived with intention, a life where you prioritize your well-being and honor your needs. Now that you've cultivated self-awareness, let's explore the art of assertive communication. The key to effectively saying no. It's not about being aggressive or rude. It's about expressing your needs with clarity and firmness, without guilt or excessive explanation. Remember, you don't owe anyone an apology for prioritizing your well-being. Instead of a lengthy explanation, a simple and direct no, thank you, or I'm not available at this time can be surprisingly effective. If you feel more comfortable offering a brief explanation, keep it concise and focus on your limitations, not on judging the other person's request. For example, instead of saying, I can't help you with that because it's too much work, try, I'm currently overloaded with commitments and won't be able to take on any additional tasks right now. Notice the difference. The first statement implies judgment, while the second focuses on your capacity. Practice different phrases until you find what feels most natural and authentic for you. Role play with a trusted friend or family member to build your confidence and refine your delivery. The goal is to communicate your boundaries with clarity and compassion, ensuring that your no is heard and respected without causing unnecessary conflict. Remember, setting healthy boundaries is not about rejecting others. It's about protecting your own well-being and fostering healthier, more sustainable relationships. Your ability to say no effectively is a testament to your self-respect and your commitment to a life of balance and fulfillment. Embrace the power of clear, compassionate communication and watch as your relationships deepen and your well-being flourishes. Embracing change, especially when it involves challenging ingrained patterns of behavior, can be uncomfortable. The initial stages of learning to say no may feel awkward, even unsettling. You might experience resistance, feelings of guilt, or fear of negative consequences. These feelings are completely normal. They are a testament to the depth of the change you are undertaking. Remember, you are rewiring deeply ingrained habits, and that takes time and patience. Don't be discouraged by initial setbacks. Every no you utter, every boundary you set, is a step forward on your journey toward a healthier, more fulfilling life. Focus on the long-term benefits, the profound positive impact on your mental and emotional well-being. Imagine the relief of not feeling constantly overwhelmed, the increased energy and clarity you'll experience when you're not constantly juggling competing demands. Visualize the stronger, more authentic relationships you'll cultivate by setting healthy boundaries. This is not a race. It's a marathon. Celebrate your small victories, acknowledge your progress, and be kind to yourself during moments of doubt or frustration. The journey of learning to say no is a journey of self-discovery, a process of reclaiming your agency and honoring your needs. Embrace the discomfort, for it is in the discomfort that true growth occurs. The rewards of prioritizing your well-being, enhanced self-esteem, reduced stress, and a greater sense of purpose are well worth the effort. Trust the process, and remember that you are not alone on this journey. The ability to say no effectively isn't just a personal skill. It's a catalyst for positive change that ripples outward, impacting every facet of your life. Imagine the transformative effect on your relationships. When you set clear boundaries, You invite others to respect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. This fosters more authentic, reciprocal connections built on mutual respect and understanding, rather than resentment and imbalance. These relationships become stronger, more fulfilling, and less likely to be strained by unmet expectations. Furthermore, saying no to less important commitments frees up valuable time and energy for activities that truly align with your priorities and passions. This leads to increased productivity and a greater sense of accomplishment. You'll find yourself more focused, more efficient, and better able to achieve your goals. This newfound efficiency isn't just about ticking off items on a to-do list. It's about aligning your actions with your values, creating a life that feels purposeful and meaningful. The cumulative effect of these positive changes is a profound sense of empowerment and control over your life. You'll feel more in charge of your time, your energy, and your overall well-being. This sense of agency is deeply satisfying and contributes to a greater overall life satisfaction. You'll experience reduced stress, increased self-esteem, and a deeper connection to your authentic self. This isn't just about saying no to things. It's about saying yes to a life lived on your own terms, a life filled with purpose, passion, and profound personal fulfillment. Throughout this discussion, we've explored the profound psychological benefits of saying no, moving from understanding the pitfalls of constant yes-saying to mastering the art of assertive communication and embracing the transformative power of setting boundaries. We've seen how saying no is not an act of selfishness, but rather a crucial act of self-care, a necessary step towards self-integration and a more authentic life. Remember the key takeaways: cultivating self-awareness, recognizing your personal limits, communicating your needs with clarity and compassion, and acknowledging the perfectly normal resistance that may arise as you embark on this journey of change. These are not merely steps. They are cornerstones of a life lived with intention, a life where your well-being is prioritized and your values are reflected in your actions. The ability to say no is more than just a skill. It's a transformative power, a key that unlocks a life of greater fulfillment, stronger relationships, and enhanced well-being. It's about reclaiming your agency, honoring your needs, and creating space for what truly matters. It's about living a life aligned with your values, a life where you are not merely reacting to external demands, but actively shaping your own destiny. Embrace this power. Begin today to cultivate this essential skill. Start small, be patient with yourself, and celebrate your progress. With each no you utter, you are not merely rejecting something. You are affirming your commitment to a life lived authentically, a life lived on your own terms. This is your journey. Embrace it fully and watch as your life unfolds in ways you never thought possible.